Scott Charney, thank you for being with us. You're Corporate Vice President from Microsoft. I think your particular bit of the organization is Trustworthy Computing. Given all the threat of cyber warfare, of cyber terrorism, given the reality of the Stuxnet virus or worm or whatever it was, should we be really scared of the internet and of where it's going?
I would not say we should be really scared. I would say we have to be very diligent. There has been a much greater attention on security in the last 5 or 6 years than there ever has been before. In fact, our Trustworthy Computing initiative started 10 years ago, but it took some time to get it really rolling. We do really have to manage risk carefully. We are more dependent on technology than ever before. The threats are increasingly sophisticated, and we need to manage that risk.
And is the threat coming from non-state agents as well as state agents?
Absolutely. So there are really several different threats. Cyber criminals have been around for a long time, and sometimes they're attacking computers to steal information or disrupt systems. We see economic espionage on the internet. Countries are alleging military espionage on the internet, and there's increasing concern about this notion of cyber warfare, that along with some kinetic military activity, gaining control of information systems or disrupting information systems may be important. So there are different categories of threats.
A final question. With conventional warfare, the Geneva Convention exists, designed basically to limit the human cost of war to civilians. Is it possible to have a convention that would control in some way the threat of cyber warfare?
Countries are currently talking about exactly that. The interesting thing is, in conventional warfare, the battlefield is a natural battlefield: land, sea, air, space. The internet is man-made, and it works because telecommunications carriers with really big pipes transmit a lot of data. And if countries were to go to war over the internet and disrupt those communication channels, you're also disrupting the average person's phone service and maybe even access to emergency police services or medical services. So people are starting to have serious discussion about how do we make sure that the functioning of the internet is not disrupted by government activity, and should government look at something like the Geneva Convention and put these private networks off limits?
Do you think it's feasible?
It's feasible for governments to agree to it. One of the challenges with the internet is, how do you verify that a treaty is actually being adhered to? One of the challenges with the internet is very hard to prove the source of an attack. And we've seen some computer incidents where people have debated whether governments are behind it or it's just civilians in that country who think they're being sympathetic to their government. It's hard to know for sure who actually launched a set of packets. And as a result, when you get to treaty verification, it becomes difficult. However, there will be more authentication on the network, and some of those problems will be addressed with technology.
Scott Charney, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.